Welcome to the spine-chilling stories, where you hear true horror stories around the world that are both creepy and chilling. So let's dive in. The Haunted Jinn House. The Ahmed family had been searching for an affordable home in Lahore, Pakistan, when they stumbled upon a beautiful yet strangely inexpensive house in an old neighborhood. The house had been vacant for years, but its structure was intact, despite the warnings from the locals about strange occurrences. Mr. Ahmed dismissed them as superstitions. Excited to start their new life, the family moved without hesitation. Mr. Ahmed, his wife Amina, and their 5-year-old son Daniel, and his teenage sister Sana all moved in together. They were a happy family, excited to start a new life at a new house. On the very first night, Amina noticed something unsettling. The house was unusually cold, despite the warm summer weather outside. At first, she attributed it to the old structure. Maybe it was because of the building was old. That's why it feels a little bit colder than the weather outside. But then she started hearing faint whispers, like hushed voices speaking in the language she couldn't understand. Daniel, the youngest, seemed to be unaffected. In fact, she started talking to an unseen friend. When Amina asked who he was talking to, he just smiled and said, "The man in the corner. He tells me funny stories." A shiver ran down Amina's spine. It is not normal. It should be something else. But then she think that it was just child's play. Maybe it was something imaginary friend or something. As the days passed, whispers grew louder. Sana would hear her name being called at night, only to find no one there. Amina would wake up to see her bedroom door slowly creaking open on its own. Daniel, once cheerful, starting to have nightmares and refused to go to sleep alone. One evening, as Amina was praying, she felt a cold breath against her neck. Spinning around, she saw nothing, but the whispers turned into low, guttural chuckle. Terrified, she told Mr. Ahmed, but he brushed it off. "It's just your imagination," he said. That night, everything changed. That night was very terrifying for this family because they never know what's going to happen to that night. At precisely 3 a.m., Amina woke up, gasping for breath. Her body felt paralyzed, as if it was stuck in one place, and she cannot move at all. In the corner of a room stood a tall, shadowy figure with glowing red eyes. It did not move, but she could feel its eyes' piercing gaze on her. She wanted to scream. She wanted to move. She wanted to run, but her voice and body failed her. The entity stepped closer, closer, and closer, its presence overwhelming. Then, in a voice that sounded like a deep growl, it whispers, "Leave." Amina finally had the strength to close her eyes and then started to recite Ayatul Kursi. As soon as she finished, the figure vanished. The room fell silent, but Amina knew that the jinn had not left. At dawn, Amina told Mr. Ahmed everything. This time, even he could not deny that something was wrong. Something was very, very wrong with this house. They sought out help from an Islamic scholar, an imam, who visited the house with a few other religious men. As soon as they entered the house, the air grew thick, almost sophisticating. The scholar recited powerful verses from the Quran, and suddenly a loud guttural scream filled the house. It was unhuman. It sounded like something unnatural. The windows rattled, and Daniel began to cry, covering his ears, saying that he was scared. The jinn has made this home as his place here, the scholar said. It does not want to leave. The men continued their praise for hours. Doors slammed shut on their own. Shadows danced across the walls. But the recitations did not stop. After what felt like eternity, the house fell silent. After the exorcism, the house felt lighter. The whispers ceased, and Daniel stopped seeing his imaginary friend. The scholar advised them to continue reciting prayers and to never ignore such signs again. A few weeks later, the family decided to move. They never spoke of the house again. But whenever someone mentioned it, Amina would quietly whisper a prayer. Some say the house remains abandoned to this day, waiting for its next victims. And some say it was cursed beyond help, and never should anyone go to a place that houses a jinn. Would you dare to visit and spend a night to this haunted jinn house? For more stories like this, please subscribe to this channel and keep watching the spine-chilling stories.